Hello, Physio Practice owners. If you are looking to 2.5x your revenue in as little as 2.5 months using your website in 2025, this is the episode for you. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. We're going to be covering a specific case study, one of our clients, right, in how they managed to 2.5x their revenue in around 2.5 months' time using their website as a primary way of driving that, right? Now, when it comes to really scaling and growing your practice to that next level, to 1 million and plus per year, one of the key things you need to get right is your website. Think about it. Every single new patient that helps grow and scale that practice to that next level, right, have come through your website, generally speaking. A large percentage of it. So it goes without saying, it is an absolute must to get this right, right? So if you really want to take your practice to much higher heights, to 1 million and plus per year, this is something that you really want to nail down. So today we're going to be dissecting one of our clients' website and what got them to 2.5x their revenue in, like I mentioned, in around 2.5, 3 months' time. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so here it is. So this is one of our clients who managed to 2.5x their revenue in around 3 months' time, right? So when they came to us, they were pretty flat at a certain average level, right? And one of the key things that we recognized for them to get to the goals that they had to in a year or so is to get the website right. It is the number one thing that we did, right? And that's how they were able to, like I said, 2.5x their revenue in about 3 months' time. So what I'm going to do is break down what essentially is the secret sauce when it comes to creating the best in class, the highest performing website for physio practices, right? And it all starts firstly with imagery, right? Now you can see up here, this is the home page. This is what we call the above the fold, right? They're pretty advanced in terms of having professional videography as a part of showcasing the practice. Now, what you want to do, especially on the homepage and the top here, because this is typically where a lot of people will land, right? What you want to do here is create a sense of comfort. Because if you really think about it, physios are very hands-on people. They touch people and they obviously treat them. So making sure people feel like they're comfortable with the team and the actual practice is absolutely paramount. Now, video is ideal, so you can actually create a bit of a feeling of that. It'll be very professional as well, but it doesn't have to be this advanced. All right, the key thing when it comes to a website and the imagery or any sort of video assets is authenticity. So being real is a very, very big part. It doesn't have to be very pretty. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, but real. Even photos from your phone that capture that entire team or your practice is critical, right? That's all you need. So imagery is very powerful. It doesn't have to be pretty and aesthetic. Of course, that will help, but starting off, getting it authentic and real is the first thing. And you need to be using that imagery, those videos and images, as much as you can in any image that you want to use in your website. The more real, the more it is actually from your practice, and avoiding stock videos and images, it's going to help to create that connection. So in the homepage, the first thing you want to create is a sense of comfort. You want people to feel comfortable when they see your practice. It's like let's just say somebody, one of your family comes knocking on your door, right? You want to open the door and make them feel really warm and welcome. That's the kind of feel that you want to have with the imagery, and especially on the homepage, right? So psychologically thinking, you need to tick a certain few boxes. You need to get them to feel comfortable first, which is that image and the imagery and the home hero image that we just talked about. After that, you want to create some authority, right? So they feel comfortable. They want to very quickly get a sense of authority and how good you really are as a practice very quickly. And the way to do that is having what we call authority symbols. So it's, memberships you have, other companies and bodies that you're affiliated with, that kind of thing. So you can see here is APA, NDIS, Australian Government, DVA, Medicare. You can put your private health there. You can put your sporting clubs there, any companies that you work with, any sort of heavy hitting memberships that you can put up there that'll really speak loudly to your target patient. That'll speak really, really loudly here. Okay. So really think about it. Hero image, they feel comfortable. Tick. Underneath, you got authority symbols. They feel like you're a big player in this space and they can trust you a little bit, right? You got authority in the space. That's tick. Underneath that, you want to have your Google reviews. Now, to be APRA compliant, you can't promise that the patients will get what other patients are saying on Google, right? You can't say that. Simply having something like this, Google 5-star, excellent, that's all you need to do. You can do that, and you need to do that in 2025 and moving forward. It's part of what you need to do, because a lot of people now are trained to look for social proof of a business, right, before they purchase. So what this does is create credibility and trust, right? So if you go and recap, hero image, they feel comfortable. Underneath that, very quickly, you created authority with the symbols. Underneath that, you created social proof and trust. So 3 big psychological ticks have been done for them. And you want to replicate this sequence in as many pages as you can across your website, because you just don't know which page on your website they will come to first. That's very, very important. Okay. As I mentioned, keep the images very, very strong, right? And very, very real. The other thing is, now this header here, this little section up here, you can see when you scroll up and down, it stays stuck. It's what we call a sticky header. Now that's very, very important to have. What a sticky header does is it allows the people who are browsing, because if you're doing the right things on your website, you've got the images right, you got the authority right, that you're creating credibility, what that'll do is encourage to keep engaging with your site, right? You keep engaging with it. There's going to come a point where they feel happy enough to take the next step. And when that point comes along, you want to make it very, very easy for them to take that next step. And the best way to do that, people are now trained to go to the top right-hand corner of a website to take the next option. All right. So this is why this header needs to be sticky, what we call sticky, and especially important in mobiles, because a large part, 65, 70% plus of your new patients will come from mobile. So having a sticky header with these call to actions. So for RX, for this particular client, they book online and call is their main ways of getting contact. You want to know what those are for you and put it there, and make the one that people like to, gravitate towards the most, make that a bit more highlighted. So book online, for example, here. Okay. That's very, very important. So make the header sticky in all devices, especially on mobile. Absolutely critical. Okay. Absolute must. And the next thing is, you can see here, I've got an About Us page, which is, again, very real and authentic. After that, you've got the services page. This is something very important. You can't put all of your services in one page, because that will confuse Google and the patients, right? Because they'll have to sort of scroll through the page to find out what it is. Now, you can see from this very big list, you need to identify what patients come to you for, what are the main things, and break it down. Right, page by page. You can see here, physio, low back pain, hypermobility, EDS, etc., etc. So break it down into individual themes and categories, if you want to call it that, as to what patients come to you for. And then creating a unique page around that. Because what that will do, let's just say somebody searches for knee injury treatment in your area, knee injury treatment near you. If you have a page dedicated towards that, Google will more likely show that page because it has high relevance compared to a page with all the services sort of stuffed in there, right? And you need to get these terms right for your area, all right? So people might not know, for example, these terms might not work for your area. You just need to know what they are searching, and you want to create the pages around those searches. because that's what people are searching, all right? That helps you rank better as well and appear in Google. Services, having individual pages for services, absolutely critical, right? And the next thing is service areas, okay? So once again, if, for this particular client, if somebody types in Physio Barrack Heights or Physio Shell Cove, they have a chance of appearing in Google because there's a particular page for each of the suburbs or each of the areas. Okay. This makes it very, very easy for someone like Google to show the right page because you've got the pages for it and people search, physio near me, physio, your suburb, whatever suburb is. So you want to have that suburbs broken down. It's very, very important. Another thing with a website is it just needs to perform really, really well on mobile. It needs to be fast on mobile. There's a website called PageSpeed Insights. Google it, PageSpeed Insights. It's actually a Google product. You need to make sure whenever you create a website that it hits all what we call the performance or the speed metrics. It needs to be really, really polished on mobile because remember, 65-70% of people are coming from mobile. So you need to have it really, really polished, right? What we say is a minimum 60 out of 100 score. Now, why that low? It's very difficult to get a website doing much better than 60 on mobile. If you even have a look at the biggest companies in the world, Apple, Google, whoever, right? They'll still tend to stick around that 60 mark, which tells us that if they can't get it right with billions of dollars worth of budget, is probably not a realistic thing to achieve for. So that's the standard benchmark that we go for, right? It works. That's what we found works. So 60 out of 100. But when it comes to desktop, you really need to aim for 90 plus. Absolute must. Okay? That's a big, big thing. And now, once you've done that effectively enough, you just need to keep adding pages to your website, moving forward. You can't just let it sit dormant, right? You need to create articles, new pages, just to keep it fresh to signal to Google as well that you're relevant. You just haven't gone dormant. This is still a relevant, constantly updated website. All right. So that's one very, very big thing. Now, one other thing I want to add to the website as well is something that is often not talked about. And I don't think it's actually talked about at all when it comes to physio practices. And that is adding a very, very solid careers page, right? Because if you're in a mission to really scale up and turn up the size and the scale of your business and your practice, you need to be having a look at an active way, a permanent way that you can keep getting great people into your practice. One of the great ways of doing that is actually creating a very specific careers page. And I don't mean like a careers page is for the sake of putting up a careers page. What I'm talking about is a careers page that really showcases the kind of practice that you really are. It captures the element of your practice, the culture of your practice, right? And you basically put them on to one landing page, right? It basically is a big advert, a big commercial for high quality staff to attract high quality staff to your practice, right? You can have staff testimonials, you can have all sorts of things, maybe days out, bonding sessions. Anytime you do something outside, you can actually create video assets, reels, professional photos, videos, and that kind of thing, and put that in here in the actual page. Because what this allows you to do is whenever you put an ad out in any platform that's out there, you can actually have this particular URL in that ad, right? So what will happen is it gives you as a practice to showcase yourself to people who are really interested in more ways than what that particular platform will allow, job platform will allow, right? That's one thing, because often you can't attach videos or you can't have it display the things you want to display in the way you want to display it. So you can actually have a place where you can direct them to in those ads to come and have a look at what your practice is all about, right? Helps you shine a little bit more than any other practices that might be looking to high grade people as well. That's reason number one. Reason number two is if you really think about it, all right, let's just say you put an ad out on a job platform right? And typically whoever sees those ads, they see it one time and one time only, unless they come and revisit the ad and they go into the ad itself, all right? They're lost forever, right? But if you drive traffic to a page in your website, you can actually capture that on Google, capture that on Facebook, and you can run retargeting ads just to keep shining your particular practice and the position that you're hiring for all across the internet, all right? It really allows you as the practice to be on top of mind in any platform out there that you can advertise, right? It's a really great way to keep showing up at the right places around the internet to those people who came and took the extra time and the interest to this particular page, right? It's an opportunity for you to keep reaching out to them, to get them back in and create more applications and attract higher clients, higher quality staff. So I hope all that made sense, right? So if you haven't got these things in play in your own website, it is high time at the beginning of the year to try and have a look at getting these things in, because you want to give yourself the best chance in 2025 to have the most amount of growth that you're aiming to get. All right. Now, if you feel like you're stuck, if there's a lot of information, you just don't know how to process it, or you don't know where to start or what's missing, if things are actually working the right way, I encourage you to go to our website, physiomarketing.co, that's .co, book a call with us. We are more than happy to have a chat with you and see what's missing on your website and dissect it for your particular scenario and what you're looking to achieve. And then we can suggest what is really needed from where you are right now to get to where you want to get to, right? Other than that, it's been nice having you here. We'll chat to you very soon.